Right. Well, my mic is way too far away. I can bring that closer. Well, it's there and you can see it, but whatever, it's here. Um, wow, that always something. What is it doing? Oh, it's hitting the base on that side. Oh, well, that was all me. One day I will be a little bit more unscuffed. But it's fine. How's everybody doing today? Don't mind me. I'll be fiddling with my mic for a moment. Um, how's everyone doing? Happy Friday. It's a very unusual day for me to be streaming. I don't know how long I'll be on, maybe just long enough to get this done. We'll see. Uh, oh, okay. I thought I saw something from work and I was like, but I am wrong. All right. Okay. Sorry. Just distracted by an email for work. Um, what am I doing today? Well, let's take a look. I'm gonna turn the music down a bit more. Okay, so today, I'm gonna try to keep it simple. I know I've been gone for 2 streams, and today is making it for at least yesterday's. Can't make up for Monday, but whatever. Not that I have to make up for anything, but that's in my head. Um, I just wasn't feeling like streaming. I mean, it happens. So I didn't. It's the end of that story. On to the new news, right? What am I doing? So I didn't, as much as I enjoyed playing with my granulating paints and doing these, they weren't really like visually appealing, descriptive, labeled, anything like that. So I'm going to do it again right here. So they're not 100% even now that I see it on here. Some of them are bigger than others, but it's fine, whatever. I counted from my cheat sheet I have in front of me. I have 19 out of 42 of my pigments here are granulating. So I went ahead and made 20 spots because it was even, and one I'll just leave blank for whatever reason. I might put in additional information. I might label these are my granulating paints. I mean, who knows what I'll do in that last spot, but that'll take care of the other 19. So my idea for what I'm going to do at the most basic level is I am going to fill as I go, each one at a time, each rectangle with a very heavy amount of water. And then I am going to try on every one of them to touch a very rich amount of the pigment in maybe 1, 2, or 3 touch points. It depends on how the first one goes. And I might replicate those positions in each of the other spots to try to get some uniformity, which is really hilarious considering I'm literally playing with granulating paints and they're just going to do what they want, right? Um, but my idea is I want to see what doing the same thing does for each of the granulating paint types. And it will help me see the spread better, I think, if I do it on more of a longer rectangular shape than in these circles like I did to begin with. I started kind of doing this idea up here, but the method I used for doing it was like just put the paint on one side and then tilt it. I don't want to tilt this today. I just want it to spread outward. And maybe I'll massage it into position. We'll see again with the first one and what I do with it. But my goal is not to fill the whole thing in fully dark. I want to hit a couple touch points, let it spread where it spreads, keep it partially transparent, and let it just kind of flow and do its thing at each spot. To attain that, I might end up switching, alternating between spots if they end up being too close together, for example. And there's a danger that I might end up overlapping them and they bleed into each other. I may do potentially every other row. I think the divider in the middle here is sufficient to keep them separated, but the green ones are so thin that I have a real risk of overlapping them. So I might do this whole row first, skip, and then do this one and work my way down, and then go back up and go into the alternating spots. But that's a maybe, right? I realized too that how am I going to want to view these? I have them in my little cheat sheet in front of me in a mostly like Roy Biv. It's not it's not exactly that order, but it's close enough. In like a rainbow type order that I could probably keep it looking kind of consistent. Uh, but I don't have to. Um, this is a very good possibility. I may just go down the list and just do each one and just do it slowly and carefully and not worry about skipping. Because I run the risk of making mistakes. So I may just, I might just do that. I tried to put an additional bit of tape in here so I could leave room to be able to write the name of the paint. But that also leaves the question at the end. Am I going to write it in vertically like this? Or am I going to do it horizontally, which will probably give me a tiny bit more room to write? It's a big question. I mean, it's not a big question, but it's a big question to me. I'll probably worry about writing everything in afterwards since I'm going to do it in the order that I have it on the sheet in front of me, so I'll know which one is which, so I won't miss anything. And maybe in addition to the name, there'll be room to put other information. Otherwise, we're just going to do the name of the paint so I can see at a glance what they are and how they behave. And I will write it in a good black solid pen so I don't have any issues like I do over here on my swatch card, where it's harder to read some of them when it's really thin. I'm going to use a thicker pen this time, I think. Also, I'm not going to be writing in the pigment, so that'll help. But yeah, I think that's probably good. Um, I think I'll paint it like, I don't know, if I do it like this, then it's a little difficult to see. I'll stick to what I was planning just for the sake of space. And I'll just do it like this. Let me go ahead and spray everything down, get it all activated. Some of these I may not even be using. So let's get them wet anyway. All right, should be enough to get all of them started. Yeah, I think that'll probably be good. This looks light enough that I might go ahead and turn this on. I was debating whether I'd turn that one on or not. I think it'll be good to have it on. Yeah, I think that'll work. And if I need to punch it in a little bit and zoom closer, I've got my camera app open so I can change the zoom a little bit. I may end up changing it to this so that you can see it better. So let me actually bring this down so you can see everything. Maybe scoot it over, get my head out of the way. Yeah, there we go. Let me lift this up and put it on top of the paper towel instead of trying to bunch it up like that. This should make everything align a good bit better. Yeah, there we go. That'll work. All right, so I'm gonna use this to fill in water before I put any paint down. This probably won't even ever touch paint. It's just gonna be water today. It's a 1-inch wash brush from Princeton Heritage. I'll put that up here so you can see it. When it decides to focus. There we go. 1-inch wash. Princeton from their Heritage collection. That's the model 4050W. Yep. And it's just a little wash brush. It's fairly narrow, 1-inch, like it said, very thick so that it can hold a lot of water. So it should hold in plenty. I shouldn't have to go back to it for just one of these. And 1-inch is basically how wide this is. So it works out really well. So I think that'll be nice and good. The first color on my list that is granulating up here is lunar blue. So I think I'll start with that, and I'll just work my way down one side and then down the other, and then leave like this bottom right one here empty. So the very first one is lunar blue. I'll put it up here. And then the next one down is going to be cerulean blue chromium. And I'll just keep going. I'll announce them out loud as I go. So let's do that. Let me go ahead and get my brush wet and get it ready. Go ahead and get this one wet. And go ahead and fill in this one section. And to see a benefit of having this light in front of me is I can see where the water is down. So that's really nice. All right. All right. And lunar blue for me is the bottom right hand corner of my palette. You can't see it because I'm punched in right now, but I'll go ahead and grab some of it. And I'm going to go really, really, really sick with it. Go ahead and turn the music up a little. If someone comes in, I'll turn it down. Hey, Krista, welcome in. Plastic palette. This one's ceramic. Very, very crazy heavy. These are ceramic plates as well. These are still very wet. I'm gonna let them go. How are you doing today? I am just stuck in a world of playing with my granulating paints to see what they can do. I have previously done this, where I just done circles and just did like a dot of granulating pigment, and then this was just me going wild. And I wanted something a little bit more controlled. So I am trying to get all 19 of the granulating paints I've got in kind of a more controlled process, swatch, we'll call it. And I left the room under the tape when I'm done to actually label them. Oh, looks plastic? Yeah, it's a by this brand. I don't know how to pronounce it. Meeden, I guess you can say. They're on Amazon. You can find them everywhere. But yeah, comes with this nice. This is plastic. And the cover is plastic. I would be able to pick it up. Comes with a little mixing well, 2 mixing wells inside the lid if you need them. I keep it down here. I'm liking it. I like that it's got a lot of wells to put pigment in. It's super nice for that. Let me unzoom. Let me grab that and doop, doop, doop. I lost my mouse. There it is. Yeah, it's really nice. I like it. It's very big, very heavy. I liked it because it's like, I got it on purpose to leave on my desk. So I'm not like folding something up and putting it away and tucking it in a drawer when it's dry. The purpose for this for me was to have something that has a lot of options, is very big. I can let get messy and it can just stay out. And it was only big enough to do 33, if I remember right, wells going around the perimeter. So the remaining 42 is how many I have total. I think it's 33 in here. So I think there's 9 in this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nope, I'm wrong. 8, 9, 10, 11. I must be off. There must be 31 in this. So 31, 11 in these two combined for a total of 42. I've been looking at them on Amazon. It's really nice. I like that it's heavy. I like that it's durable. It's dense. It feels more tangible, weirdly, than plastic. And nothing wrong with the plastic one at all. I still have it right here. If I can get my fingers in here to open it. There we go. Oh yeah, absolutely nothing wrong with this at all. I would say the other major benefit that I like, because I'm a freak like that, is these will mix a lot easier because there's such a thin barrier between the wells, and they're not very deep wells by comparison to this. This I like because all the individual wells have like a dividing wall, like a barrier between them, so they don't mix unless I want them to, which I really appreciate. Yeah. And this brand Meeden, they have a lot of different shapes and sizes. I think this is their biggest, or maybe the near biggest one that's available. They have a smaller version, and they have even smaller like travel ones and whatnot as well. So they're a huge brand. I have it tucked away in a closet, but man, the box that this comes in is so like retro Art Deco. It's such a pretty, really cool design. Yeah, what a really interesting brand. What I don't know is anything about them. I don't know, like, are they a Chinese company and they're just there flooding Amazon Marketplace, or are they like a legitimate art brand? Like, they make enough, and it seems to be only art related things that I think that they're focused on just art supplies, but I just appreciated them because they had really good ratings, and I wanted a ceramic one. It's even got like ceramic imperfections, like the edge here is not perfectly flat. It has like a slight bowing curve to it on some of these outer edges. Like you can almost see it here. I have it fairly even, but you can see, and it's not the camera doing it, it curves right here. Because it's not perfect, but I love that. It's imperfect. I mean, aren't we all? I absolutely love that. It's super cool. Let me go ahead and dry this off some more, and then I'm going to go ahead and start heading down this side. Um, what I'm doing, if you didn't get a chance to see, I have 19 out of my 42 paints are all granulating. You probably haven't been here for a while, so you haven't seen this, but I made myself a cheat sheet that I have in front of me here. I would take it off the wall, but there'd be held on by magnets. But I think I can pull it up in Discord because I took a picture and shared it. Let me find that really quick. Discord. Will you open Discord? Yes, right there. And my thing and picture sharing. And yes, here it is. Yeah, let me bring this over and I'll share it on the screen. They're based out of California? No kidding. Oh, that's great. I'm really happy about that. I'm glad that they are at least, semi-local. I don't mind companies that are in other places, clearly, but it's nice to have something that's semi-local made that's not just falling apart. Yeah, so I did these right here. I went ahead and I manually created an Excel spreadsheet with a list of every single pigment that I own from Daniel Smith. I uploaded all of the PDFs with the color chart information, the staining, transparency, granulation, light fastness information, all of that. And I uploaded all of that into ChatGPT and I said, can you make me a simple swatch card that has this information that you see here, the paint, the pigment information, the lab LEB color information, and then the staining, all of that stuff, all in a chart so I can see it at a glance instead of looking through a giant 100+ chart trying to find mine. I know exactly what I have in front of me. And then I gave myself like a little cheat sheet next to it, uh, under my finger here. I did a little cheat sheet that explains what all of those things mean. Because you started explaining them to me once, and I thought it'd be great to have it in front of me. So it is literally in front of me on my desk. Aside from that, the other thing I can show here is this. This is what my new setup looks like in my corner. I moved from the other side of this room up against the window over here. And in the process, I gained a blank wall. And I didn't like knowing going in that it was going to be blank. This is where where our TVs used to be on this wall. So we switched everything around and I went ahead and got a cork board. Um, that's like a stick-on cork board. So it's like 8 quadrants or 8 panels that were sticky, self-adhesive, and stuck that to the wall. And I got these push pins that I will take out and show you that are super cool. When I find them. Well, okay, there. And I will turn this off. I got these. So they're regular metal push pins, right? No big deal there. Slightly out of focus, but you get the idea. And then magnets, and they come together. So they're neodymium magnets, and the goal is you push these in, you put your paper that you don't want to destroy with holes, and you put the magnet on top of it to hold the paper down. Super cool, right? I absolutely love them. It was a really cool idea. Um, very happy that they exist. I made it where I can put up some of the pictures of some of the paintings that I really like, some of the processes that I've tried, like using salt, using alcohol. My current swatch card is up here. Some of the most recent paintings, the cheat sheets that I've got, the Star Trek ones that I like, the little postcards I made last year. And then the paintings up above, I made another bookmark painting a couple weeks ago. So I would have two. And then the last Voyager, the Star Trek Voyager painting I did up on top, So I've got a nice little area now, and it feels cohesive, and it makes my brain happy. So super cool to have. I'm very happy about it. Yeah. So it's nice to do a little upgrade. In the process, to my left is my personal computer that I use for streaming and then gaming and any other personal computer stuff. And over on this side, I've got a really cool setup of my work desk now, and I got to upgrade that. So when I'm working during the day from home, um, it's right around the corner from everything else. So it's really nice to have everything all kind of in one corner. Let me go ahead and dry this. I forgot I need to do that so I can move on to the next section. So yep, doing 19 of my granulating pigments. This one down here will be blank because I don't have anything to go there. Maybe it'll just say granulating pigments just to call it out. So I've got half of them down, and then I'm going to do the other half, mostly half over here. Right. That's interesting. So they make a lot of art furniture, which really makes me question what is art furniture? Art furniture. So just like art, like I don't know, like easels and like non-brush, non-paint art supplies, I guess. Just all of the fixtures. I think that's the word I was looking for in my head. Fixtures, right? Easels, cabinets. Okay, that's super cool. What a great market to get into, especially hopefully if someone that owns and operates and runs it is an artist. That'd be kind of cool. This was Lunar Black. That's where I left off. Next up is transparent brown oxide, which is on this one right there. So let's go ahead and get that going. You are my transparent brown oxide. All right. And I'm just doing like a triangle on one corner, a triangle in the other corner, and then a little S curve in the middle. And then I'll rinse my brush out, and with a little bit of water that's in it, I'm just also going through and kind of spreading it, the clear part in, just to give it a better chance at spreading out. All right. And I was considering doing every other to give a chance for them to dry in between. But I started cheating and I did every two, um, which is dangerous. Down here, I ended up leaking some of this Imperial Purple down below. So I'm going to try to do better about letting it dry. The wooden drawers you see a lot, they make them. Oh, that's cool. Like storage drawers for supplies and things like that. Just like the whole setup that you would do to make your whole little painting space, your little art space. Interesting. That's super cool. I'll have to take a look and see what else they offer. I think I glanced one time at their entire Amazon market, their store, by clicking on their name, right, and seeing the whole list that they had. But I think I glanced at it for all of like a few minutes just to look at palettes that they had. Um, I didn't really look at the whole entire list. I might do that after this stream, just kind of glance at what they've got. I have no desire to add anything new, just to make sure my other half is on the other side of the room listening. I don't want him to think I'm going to go spend a bunch more money. I've done enough damage. Not that it matters, but just realistic speaking, I have no desire to add anything else new to this. I've spent enough. Just when we moved over here, paying for the extra stuff was enough. But it's interesting to think about getting drawers and all that. I'm kind of happy with what I've got. I still have this over here. I have a whole other one that I'm not using of these this makeup holder. It is like a lipstick, just any sort of makeup that you can fit into this. It's meant to be a stand for putting all of those in, but it works kind of perfectly for me to put all of the pigment in, all the paint tubes. So I'll get them all in here. Some are doubled up because out of 42 paints, I have not 42 spots. So I had to double up a couple of them, but it's nice to be able to see them on my desk where I can just get to them if I need them in the future. It works really well for that. Hey, New Vegas, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Happy Friday to everybody. Today they have a 50% art sale going on Amazon. Shut up. I don't want to know that. No, I won't. According to my Facebook page, well, freeze your wallet as you look today. Yeah, exactly. I won't. I won't buy anything new. I'm good. I will be totally honest though. I've never really like been the person to go just blow money on stuff. Like every now and then, if we're like depressed or upset, and we're just like, let's go just spend money frivolously, we might get like a selection of things all at once. But that's like usually few and far between. I've never been the one to really just buy a bunch of stuff for personal use because I've never really, I don't know what the word is, wanted anything. I never had something that I could spend money on that I'd want to spend money on. Not that I should want to spend money, but I've never really had like a money hole, a money pit in my life. And then this came along. I've spent the most money in my life on this, aside from, rent, utilities, food, you know. I think at this point we've spent less money to move out of state. So this is truly a thing. But I'm happy to have a hobby, an interest that I can spend some air quotes, some money on without going nuts about it. I'm very happy and proud to have found something I enjoy. I'm still clearly new at it, and that shows, obviously, but I really enjoy it. It makes me really happy to be able to play with this. And then someday, the stuff that I do might be a bit more intentional and a bit more technical and a bit more good. For now, I'm happy with what I got, clearly. Oh no, our supplies hobbies are addicting. I bet they are. I think I know it, and I don't see. Okay, no, okay, so lie. I have spent money on other things before. It was not clearly as much as this, but what it does do that I don't like is take up space. I am a big geek. Like I do IT for work, and I have always liked retro IT for my personal life. Like I remember the stuff that I grew up with, and it was old then. Like in the late 80s and early 90s when I was like in elementary and middle school. Um, those that era of computers awakened the IT desire in me. And so that's what's locked into my brain as what I enjoy. So I have always had a desire to collect some of those things. Unfortunately, at the same time that I had just enough free money to be able to start looking at finding stuff at thrift stores and whatnot, apparently everyone else got the idea too, from YouTubers and whatnot. That's like, oh, this is a great idea. Let me go find every old computer I can find, sell it on eBay, and jack up the cost, the price on it by the exorbitant amount for hobbyists, collectors to spend money on. And I hate that because I enjoy it not for like collecting a huge supply of them, but because I wanted some very specific types of things to have. And then once I gathered those, I was going to offload most everything else and just have like the core few things. But in the process, you find something a little bit better. And then someday in the future, you find something a little bit better. And then you realize before too long, you're hoarding it all, right? So we've been working finally now that I've got painting as my new outlet, right? My new hobby. I'm offloading a lot of the old IT stuff that I've been hoarding after all this time. Clearly keeping a few key important special things, but just offloading all of the side stuff, like anything that was like B minus or C plus tier and below is going. The I don't have anything S tier, but A tier stuff and B tier stuff that's really hard to find and rare enough, I'm keeping, if it's small and light, unless again it's special and there's a reason it's heavy because it's very old. older stuff is heavier. It's just the way it is. Um, Almost entirely made of metal, right? Uh, so I still have some, but it was not as much of a financial burden because I was unwilling to spend that money, but it is a space taking burden. It's just, there's a whole closet plus like a part of another one that's just has been historically filled up with IT crap. So in the last couple of weeks, we did during this moving the desk over here, we decided to start going through some of the stuff and offloading a good bit of it. So I'm very happy to get rid of a lot of it because it's something that makes me sad that I can't collect because it's too expensive. It's too hard to find. People are overinflating the price of it all. I have nowhere to put it. And I realize more than anything, what the hell am I going to do with it all when I have it? Look at it, know that I have it. I don't talk to anyone about it. So what the hell is the purpose of me owning all of this stuff? Nothing. My goal was to someday have a room or something that I can set some up as like a live demonstration and I can turn them on and actually use them. Right now I can't because there's just no room for that. So I'm just holding on the stuff until I have that time and desire, and I want to keep that small because clearly I'm not going to do a lot of that. So, yeah. It's a good thing I don't have an IKEA nearby. Oh, we do. We do. Well, it's not near, like it is, but it's far enough away that we have to actually like get in the car and spend 15, 20 minutes getting to it. But it's fun sometimes, but exhausting to walk through. We usually go with focus and we try to go right to the area. Sometimes we get screwed and we have to walk through the whole damn store. I don't like those days, but it is what it is. When I was a kid, they had Atari and Commodore 64 without the add-ons that came later, like the floppy disk. IKEA did? Or you just mean in general about computers? Yeah, yeah, yeah. When you were a kid, yeah. For me, my old computers were like the one I had an Apple IIc, Apple IIc, that I don't remember where it came from. My dad got it from somewhere. Um, so I had Apple IIc. It was basically just green and pink and white colors. That is all it could do on screen. But it was a lot of fun to have and hear the floppy drive grinding away, right? And then I got like a 386 and then a 486 computer after that. And then it just kind of escalated from there when I started taking IT classes in high school. And I just started expanding and getting it whatever I get my hands on. Tremendous amount of fun. Uh, Hi, Deep Dust. Welcome in. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Happy Friday. Did I see what's happening April 1st? Other than April Fool's Day, no. What's happening on April 1st? Deep Dust, sorting out my sewing area, taking a little break from making stuff. That's cool. Sorting is fun when you realize that everything is just kind of built up and you just got to leave something there and then you start getting lost. It's time to just rip and replace and just pull it all out and put it all back in again. I like sorting. Sorting is kind of fun. It's the only type of cleaning I enjoy. Sorting stuff. Knowing where stuff is so helpful. In general, as far as retro computers, yeah. I never had well, I had an Atari game console. I forget the model number on it. It was one of the ones that was black and had the brown wood accent on the front. Um, no, no, that was a friend's. Ours was 2600. Is that one of them? The black one? The black one with the silver badging? I think it was the black one with the silver badging. I have to look it up, but I think it was the 2600. That number jumped in my brain for some reason. We had that. We had the NES. On the computer side, I never had a Commodore. I don't know anything about them other than what I've seen online from some computer like hobbyist retro YouTubers that I watch. Clearly I've seen a ton of them through them, and that's all I need in my life. I don't need one. Did you see that they brought Commodore back? There's a YouTuber named Parafractic who bought Commodore, and they're remaking Commodores in the modern age. So you can use them exactly the same as you did the old ones, but they have some new modern conveniences like a safer power supply, HDMI output, internet connectivity, all kinds of cool things that you can get. So if you ever have a retro nostalgia and you got a few bucks to spend and you want to play with a Commodore again, don't fight with an old one getting fixed up, you can buy a new one because it's literally coming back. It's super cool. A lot of loose string. Okay. New Vegas. Did you own a Sega Saturn? No, I did not. I never did. Wish I did though. Never played it. Looks like a cool system. It's to K Arts. Yeah, no, I never. The oldest system I had was that Atari, I think 2600. We had an NES. My dad salvaged it. He was working. I remember he was working rebuilding a bar that had partially burned down, but was salvageable. So he was doing work, taking out all the old burnt lumber and walls and rebuilding a new structure and new cabinet work. He was mainly there for the cabinet work because that's what he does or did. And while he was there and they went into a back room, there tucked away in the corner was a very smoke smelling uh, NES with a very slight burn on the top of it where like one little cinder fell on top and it burnt a little burn mark into the top of the console. And instead of just throwing it away, he asked the owner if he could take it home to me, and he let him take it. And he went and found all of the games that he had with it and gave them all to me. It was like 20 games or so. And that's how I first started learning about and playing the first Final Fantasy, the first Dragon Quest. Back then it was Dragon Warrior. Faxanadu, it was in there, Star Tropics. So some of the games I've played on here, a little bit of, were in that list, along with others. Uninvited was a really weird kind of horror, point and click kind of game. It was really interesting. Uh, Super nostalgic for me was that era. Deep Dust, lots of loose strings that needed to go. Yeah, I bet. Oh, that's crazy. Well, congrats on being able to work on sorting it. I'm sure it was very, very, that's not the word I was thinking of. I was thinking lethargic. That's not the word. What is the word I'm thinking of? Cathartic. There we go. It's very cathartic. Much better than lethargic to be able to get it all cleaned up. That's great. Oh, excuse me. Clear my throat. Drink some coffee. Feel free to hydrate me if you got the points. Or coffee me. Speaking of IKEA, we got these cups. Kind of amber with a green handle. Super good. Target has cups very similar to this. The handle's different, but they're different colors. We've got that whole set. Thank you, New Vegas. Appreciate that. Trust me, the coffee is being had. I need to replace those little animations from the default ones. I should find some that are for coffee. That'd be good. Or for the specific thing. Let's see, KR. So I have a long arm. Sewing takes up a lot of room. I didn't because I was an older teen when Sega was out. However, my husband has one in a box in the garage. Ooh, I bet that is worth some money. It's probably worth it. Just keep holding on to it. Let's see, Deep Dust, Carrot at Carrots. My dream is to get a long arm. I have no idea what that is. But yeah, the sewing pile grows. My weakness is the art store Blick. Oh, we have a Blick in town. We're in the vaguely Seattle area, and there is one we've gone to twice, once, twice. Yeah, we've been there twice before. So we're really lucky to have one. It's downtown though, and we hate going downtown. When we can help not going is a good thing. Yeah, it's working well. Let's dry this off and I'll do the next ones. I'll try to do 2 at a time like I was doing before. Oh, I missed the New Vegas announcement about what was on the first. NASA is launching their new rocket to the moon. Oh, I saw that. Artemis, is that right? With a crew of people on board, the rocket will come back to Earth. We have not sent people to the moon in 50 years. Yeah. From what I remember, they're just going to the moon and around it, not landing. They're just going there and back, right? I think was the idea. I haven't read much about it. I think I just saw, oh yeah, there you say, the rocket will not land on the moon, just go around it. Yeah. It's super cool. I'm glad that we're doing it. I know it's very expensive to do something that large, but it's important that one, we go back just to expand our knowledge and technology to be able to go into space. but also just to prove to people that think we didn't go that we can. Don't leak. Good. All right, and let's do the next one too. What are my next colors? So this was transparent oxide brown, transparent brown oxide, whatever. The next one is transparent red oxide and sepia. All right. Transparent red oxide is on here. Is that what I did? Oh, I'm a dummy. I did them in the wrong order. Dang it. It's fine on here. I just have to remember. I did transparent red oxide up here. That's why it's, so red. Transparent brown oxide is here. So I'll do that one and they will be switched. We are all going to remember this for my sake so that I can fix this when I'm labeling it. But this one is transparent brown oxide. All right. That one is transparent brown oxide. Next, I'm going to do sepia. How silly. Did I mess that up? That's what it is. Sepia. It's funny, I had no idea what sepia was. But interesting factoid about my past. I used to work in a photo lab at Walmart. And while I was there, one of the guys that got hired on and worked there, his name was Al, older gentleman, and he was a news photographer, like climbing up radio antennas and taking pictures from above and holding on with one arm and holding on to his camera with the other was one of his stories. So the guy had been around, and he was like a professional, like he owned his own photo lab in the past. So I learned a lot from him while I was there. And one of the things I didn't know was a thing really was sepia and what that color tone was and what it meant. Clearly I don't know, master levels of knowledge about it. I just know it existed, but he liked to talk. I like to listen when there was no customers around. It was really fun getting to kind of learn from the guy. He's a really sweet man. Let's see. My weaknesses are Star Blick. Yep. I walk in to just look, end up with a few paints. Yep. Yep. Literally, they place the markdown items a few steps from the door. Oh, and ours, they put them in the back. I mean, I haven't been there enough to know the store enough. But for us, they put all the clearance stuff in the back. They have a section next to where all the portfolios, binders, easels, those sorts of things are. They had a table back there. That's where they put all the clearance stuff at. But they probably move it around all the time. Aside from that, the closest thing to us is Michael's. That's what Krista says as well. So yeah, we've got lots of Michael's, the one Blick that I know of. And then I'm sure there's other third-party art stores because it's Seattle. It's like a very big art city. So it's got to have support for all the people that like to art. You dry this off, or at least start it so it can settle. Do it from a distance. I have to remember this is red, the transparent red. This is transparent brown. It's the reverse of what I have in my chart. But I'm going to write it down. That's what this big blue tape is to leave room to write the names. Oops, delete the over right there. That's why. Probably should have been leaving a lot of these to dry on their own. That's hard to do when I need to leave gaps and then not mix them up. I already mixed up some and I wasn't leaving gaps. What's next after sepia? We have yellow ochre and undersea green. We're going to our greens next. And last, yellow ochre, undersea green. Okay. Yellow ochre is going to go here. And then undersea green is going to go underneath it. Undersea green is a very nice color. I like it a lot. Haven't used it much, but I need to. All right, yellow ochre. Yellow ochre is here. Yep, yep. Double checking myself just to make sure. Yellow ochre, here you are. Let's go a little richer. All right, so our little S curve. Maybe let that spread a little bit more. All right. Next up is our undersea green, which is over here. Yes. Undersea green is right here. I hope you guys are all doing all right today. It's kind of nice meeting on a Friday instead of a Thursday. That was on me. When I first came on and nobody was in yet, I was like, I didn't feel like doing anything. I've just been working. So I didn't feel like coming on to stream. This is a hobby that requires that you be in the mood, and streaming requires that you be in the mood, but also expects that you're going to be on all the time, or at least on a regular schedule. But it's hard to have a regular schedule when you're just not in the mood to do the thing. I was considering playing games, but after the rearrange, I had to figure out how to capture stuff from a console again. I thought rearranging everything again is just a bunch of mess. Let me expand this a little bit too. There we go. Okay. All right. After undersea green, we have sap green. I think we're good to do another row without bleeding. So let me get that going. I'll just be very close to the edge of the tape, but I'm not going to go over it. All right. And then we'll do the one underneath it. All right. So we're going to do sap green here and green appetite genuine underneath it. Sap green is 2 over from my sepia. Sap green is such a pretty color. It's going to be so nice on here. Oh, pretty. It's a very floral and tree, like grassy, piney color. A bit. Spins that out. Get some additional water underneath it right there and up above. Let it kiss that a little bit. Let it spread some more. All right. And then next up is our green appetite genuine, which is the one in between the sap green and the sepia. Oh, we're starting to leak a little bit. Not leak, bleed. Bleed is the word I'm looking for. Leaking is something else entirely. Okay. I'll re-wet that in a moment. This one's also a very pretty foresty color. All right. Okay, since I dried that, it looks dry. So let's put some water back into it. Okay. And let that also, and above. All right. We need to let that dry, and then we'll do the last 2 down here. Or we can kind of squeeze them in. Let's see. The last 2 are, did I miss anything? Michael still has good selections. Yes, they do. Interesting. Could be better spent the whole morning at the vet. Oh, could be better. You spent the whole morning at the vet. Doggo has not been good and is on and off. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I really hate to hear that. Well, I hope the doggo ends up being okay. I don't like thinking about that for our dog. I know someday something's going to happen, or he's just going to be super healthy and great. But someday it's all going to end. And I don't look forward to that. Who does? Nobody would. See his little face. I'm like, you're never going to die, you little shit. Just stick around. Next up, we have Cascade Green and then Viridian. I'll be done after we dry it. So Cascade Green for me is to the right of my sap green. It's this one. And then Viridian is to the right of that. So that'll be helpful. All right. It's probably fine, but let's add a little extra water underneath and above. All right. And then last up is Viridian, which is this guy. Oh, uh, excuse me. Some more. I'll put it on this one. Get our little S curve thing going on there. Get a little stronger. All right. And let's clean that off. Get a little extra water. We'll let these all sit and spread for a minute, and we'll hit them with the dryer, dry off the whole page, and then peel. All right. It is what it is. She's 13. Oh, and yeah, I can tell she's getting older. She probably needs a special diet from now on and treatments. Yeah. I'm sorry. I hope she lives a very full, very happy life and she gets to enjoy all the remaining time she's got with you with all kinds of love, no pain, just joy. All we deserve. It's happiness. More coffee. Let's try this off. Helps her too? Yeah, she will. What's that? What's that? Hey. Billy. Sweden. Okay. Almost done drying it off. All right. I think we can go ahead and peel. Just go ahead and check that out. I always love peeling. I know everyone does, but I love that it takes something that you think looks like garbage and turns it into something attractive. It's always amazing how it does that. Or it turns something ugly into something ugly that you hate. That can happen. You don't have to love everything you do. You can learn from it, though. I don't know what made me pick Adele today. I guess I was feeling like ballads. She does them well. The most satisfying part? Oh, yeah. Peeling this tape is great. Okay. Taking extra time to make sure the tape is not stuck to my fingers when I'm dropping it off from the trash. There we go. Good. All right. Feels a little wet still. I don't think it is, but we'll see. Give me back my finger, tape. Stop. Let go. There we go. All right. Last bit. All right. And then it's time for the blue tape. I think I did the middle one last, and I think it goes off the bottom here. Yep. Okay. Middle tapes are always scary because they can pull the paper up if you go too quick. So just be gentle when you're pulling painter's tape or masking tape. Yeah, that came off nice and pretty. From the edges, it's a little easier and dangerous. This one is extra. I did that to have room to write, just like that middle one there. So I've got plenty of room to write information in. Peeling from the edge, though, one thing you never want to do, if you have not done this yet, is do not peel toward your paper. You want to peel away. If you peel toward yourself, you risk pulling up some of the edge of the paper and it coming with you. If you peel away at an angle slightly, then it makes a nicer edge and it peels off nicely. Ask me how I know. You learn by doing, people, and I learned by making mistakes, like most good learning. Oh yeah, that came off really nice. This one here. And clearly this is not the end all for how you would swatch granulating paints. This is just what I wanted to do. I was going to just do like dot, 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 and then repeat 3 dots and then just let it spread. But the best way to make all of that spread is to like tilt the page. And because of how big these were and how many I was going to do, I didn't want to have to be tilting anything because it was going to run into all the neighboring swatches. So I did it like this on purpose. Hopefully it works and I can see everything. So far, what I see looks good. All right. Yeah, this looks nice. It's really pretty. So I will probably have it like this, and I will use a pen, probably off stream, so I can take my time writing. And I will write down the names of everything on this whole swatch. Just the names, I think. I don't think I really have room to add a whole lot extra, but if I do, I don't know what I could add that's useful that I don't already have on my cheat sheet. But maybe I could do something. But yeah, check out. Came out, come on, focus. Yeah. It came really nice. They look like a bunch of little tornadoes. You can take a look at them a little closer. Yeah, they came really good. I like that one. Lunar blue. The lunar blue and the lunar black are focused. Lunar blue, lunar black are some of the best granulating paints I've got. They show it. The black one, especially, it just it spreads out so neatly. And the lunar blue on this side, same thing. My goal, one of my goals, that I wanted to do, I don't know if I have time to really do it today. I might play. We'll see. But one of the things I wanted to do was to make a nebula using nothing but granulating paints. And I want to do it lightly, right? To try to really play with it and get as much texture into it as I can. I think over a larger area, I can get a lot better granulation. And it's kind of proven by when I did this one, which is much less organized than that one. But this one is what led me to want to make this one. But this one also has some nice, cool textures. Like that's the lunar black. I love how that looks. It looks like a little volcano or something. And so many of them have such really cool patterns when they spread out. I really appreciate them. Right? So I've got this view. I've got this one here. A couple days ago, I did last week. I was playing with doing like a little mountain kind of deal with it. It's very rippled because I did not dry it properly, so it kind of got really wrinkled. Focus. Focus. There we go. Look at the texture on that. So I just want to eat that up. It may not look like a mountain, but God, it's pretty. Yeah, so that's super pretty. I really like how that looks. That's a green apatite genuine with the lunar black. Super pretty. Yeah, so I really like those. Yeah, these are kind of like jellyfish. Oh, I bet these would make a really good jellyfish. The granulating paints, doing the little half moon shape, and then just like trace around the edge on the bottom, and then like maybe family in the upper area above it, and make it really like rich on the bottom U shape of it. Yeah, that'd be really cool. Yeah, that's a cool idea. Thank you. I've never done jellyfish, so I might want to try it just to experiment on some side sketch paper, just to see what that looks like someday. Get some, what's the word I'm looking for? Why don't I stream at the end of the day? Oh, right, because I get up at like 7 for work. Well, before 7. It's like I stream when I'm tired. That's silly. But reference. How hard was that to figure out the word reference? I don't know. At that moment, I just could not think of it. But yeah, to get some good reference jellyfish to play with and just mock up what it would look like. These really look like tornadoes. I really like that. I love tornadoes. I don't want to be in them, but they definitely look like little twisters. Oh, I appreciate that. Heck yeah, no, they came out really good. And you know what I should do before I forget? I have all these written down, but I should write down that these are mixed up. So I should write down this is red. This one is transparent red oxide. This one's red. This one's brown. Kind of take my glasses off to be able to see it. Transparent red oxide, right? Yeah. And this one is transparent brown oxide. There we go. And then I'll go through and I'll write out the rest of them later, but at least I've got those two written down that I have the potential to mix up. The rest of them are very clearly labeled in front of me, so I will do that later. But yeah, and you can see my terrible handwriting. If it focuses. Yep, that's my terrible handwriting. Welcome to my world. In the world of everyone has to read what I write. It is what it is. If I really slow down and take my time, I can make it look good, but then I'm just like, I want to get it done. I speed through it and it's garbage. It is what it is. Very calming that would be. I haven't done it before. Honestly, I'm curious though. It reminds me of Sand in the Desert. This? Yeah. Or the other? This. Yeah. This. Heck yeah. Well, what am I going to do now? I got 30 minutes. I can either write or I can do a mini nebula experiment. Maybe we do that. Let's set this over here for the moment. I have everything out that I would need. I think I may. Do I? No, I don't have the smaller paper out. It's all over there. I can do another one of these, whatever. Do it. I have this paper for a reason. It was stuck. God, I need to cut my nails again. I guess I just did it. A little bit. It's the one thing I fear about. Wow, nothing is in focus. Hello, my hand is in focus. Come back. Come back to me. Hello. Do I need to put something that it can focus on? Come on. Yes, that's exactly what I needed. Wow. At some point, I will just use manual focus and have to fight with it. I'll figure that out someday. I can do it, but I have to do it manually with a slider with my mouse, and that's obnoxious. And I have a Stream Deck over here, but it's currently got like, I got the Stream Deck that's got the 8 buttons and the 4 dials on it. I forget what it's called. But I've got them all used for things right now. I would have to take like one away to use for zoom and one away to use for like if there's a scroll option for focusing. And I'm always going to get focus slightly wrong if I don't autofocus. And it's usually really good about autofocusing on stuff. Sometimes it just trips out. I don't know if it's the lighting or what, but I mean, it normally does okay. Yeah. Okay. Stop fiddling with it. Let's play. So let's think it through. I think the method, I'm going to not tape this down. I'm probably going to wet it and do like an all-in-one and keep it mostly pale because I'm not going to be able to go back to it. I need to do like all-in-one while it's wet. So I'm going to wet the paper on both sides so it holds down to the paper. But we need to decide what colors. I already know for sure I want to do lunar blue because it is so gorgeous for space. I think that'll be great. And then I may do lunar black in the outer area for like the darkest part. Moon glow. I think that's moon glow. I would like it. It might not be. Yes, it's moon glow. Great. Hey, look at me recognizing stuff. That purple is kind of pretty. I think that's imperial purple. So yeah, I think I might do in that range, but it doesn't leave a lot of room for lighter color. So I may just have to be very thin and faint with some of this. And I don't want to overdo all the color. A brown would be nice. Maybe I'll do a little bit of sepia mixed in. Might. Maybe I could do that. Sepia is here. Transparent brown, transparent red. Those were swapped. Sepia, yes, that is sepia. Or maybe a little bit of transparent red, so it's really rich. We'll see. I'll play. But I'm gonna leave this in front of me so I can look at the colors and decide. And then yeah, we're just gonna throw it together. Gonna head out. Sounds good, Deep Dust. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. You have a great rest of your Friday. Have a great weekend. I'll see you next time. Usually Monday and Thursday, but I've been really bad about that recently, but I will try to be on Monday and Thursday at 4 Pacific. I try to be consistent, but sometimes it's just so hard. I'll see what I can do. Have a great day. So I'm going to go ahead and wet down the back of this completely and thoroughly. And then I'm going to set it down on here and I'll wet the entire front. And we're just going to hit the front of this with our transparent colors that we're going to choose very quickly. Leave a lot of light area, put some really intense, darker, buttery amounts in so it can spread quickly. And then maybe touch up a little bit and then leave it alone and let it dry. Let it dry on its own. Don't mess with it. Is going to be my goal. So let's do that. I really like the lunar blue. I really like the lunar black for the outer area. I like moon glow, but that might be too much. I think it will be. too much, and then either transparent red or brown oxide for a little dusty brown kind of look. All right, let's do it. So to get a large amount of the paper, this might be too narrow. I have a mottler brush that I tend to use. So let me do that. Oh, the back of it. Yes, this is the back. I turned it and then turned it back. Right. So wedge the whole back of it. Look below. Reverse to. And the point of this for me is to hold it down and get a nice borderless painting out of it. I found this somewhere online as a suggestion. If you want a borderless print or a borderless painting without using any tape, uh, but it only gives you the opportunity really to do one pass because once it dries up, if you want to do nice big flows on it again, up to the edge, you don't really have an option for that. All right, let's go ahead and wet this side down. All right, and after doing this last time, I didn't do enough water, so I'm going to wet it down a second time. Get it really, really nice and wet, especially around the edges. 1, to hold it down. 2, because the edges dried up faster than the middle did. So I really want it to be nice and thoroughly sopping wet. All right, looks good. No puddles. I'm happy with that. Let's get to work quickly. Okay. In fact, let me go to a bigger round brush. All right. So let's start with a little of the transparent red oxide. I'll just do a little in an area. Just make it a little textured and different and rich in some areas. All right. Just get some swoopy lines in there and just let it do its thing. All right. Krista, there's a difference from the front of the paper to the back, just in case you didn't know that. Yeah, it's very visibly different, especially with Artes. You can see the difference. The back of it has kind of like a flat texture, and then all the texture is inverted. It's concave on the back. It's very tiny, but you can see it. So this is the right side up. All right, lunar blue. Let's get some of that in there, nice and rich, and get that in some areas all around. Up against it, but not all the way in it. Lunar blue, a little in the middle, off to the edge. All right. All right. And some more off to the side and around here. All right. I need a little more water. Okay. Nope, I'm not gonna touch that one. Okay. And let's hit some of the lunar black. which is right here. What are you painting now? I'm working on just doing like a little blobby nebula using the granulating paints. So I'm just kind of going in. This is transparent red oxide. This is the lunar blue. And I'm shading the outer areas with lunar black. And I'm just going to let it kind of play and spread and do what it wants. I'm not even going to hit all of these white areas like I'm prone to do. I'm just kind of playing with it. And I think I might even put a couple of dots in. And let it just kind of do what it wants and spread. Yeah. And I may shift some of those around as they sit. Like some of them I might just kind of play with a little. Make them a little bit more intentional blobs instead of just dropped from on high like I did. But some are okay. All right. And I think I will go back for some more of the lunar blue. I just kind of pad some in the layer in between where it's light and where I have the lunar black. Okay. I'm just trying to be random. I have a bad habit of hitting everything from the exact same angle, so I'm trying to be a little better about that. All right. I do have a spray bottle. I can totally hit it with some water and tilt it a little bit, and that should do some fun stuff, right? Is that where you're going? And should I only do, you think, the darker areas, or should I hit the whole thing? Just do the whole thing. And just stop there. Maybe do the area on the bottom now here a little more. Let it kind of flow around a little bit. Kind of breaks up, right? Breaks up the monotony of it. If your drops of water can help set off granulating paints, yeah. One of the ones I want to do is one I've seen where they do like flows, right? And they really like let it kind of swoop and slide. I don't want to do that too much on this one, but I've seen some where they literally like will hit a corner kind of heavily and let it like flow in a direction, and everything, you're right, sets off. It separates it kind of nicely. Yeah, like that did really nice. I have to fix the corner, but yeah. Yeah, no, you absolutely nailed it, Chris. I thank you. Yeah, that looks, it totally changes the texture of it. It's hard to see because I've got I've got a ripple forming here from the wet paper. It bubbled up in just one particular spot. Yep, I don't really like to fix that. I'm gonna leave it be. How about the middle area? Yeah, I actually kind of like how it is acting getting re-wet. but I think I'm gonna leave it. If I do too much, it's gonna go crazy on me. I saw one where they put it on really thick, then waited a couple minutes and sprayed it a little and made a crackled effect. That sounds so cool. Like, I really want to do that. Here, let's hit the lunar black a little harder too. All right, I'm gonna let that sit for a few, and then I will do just that. I'll let it sit for just a minute, and then we'll hit it with the water and let it spread, and then we're gonna leave it alone, and then let it dry, and we'll come back next time and see what it looks like. And if we can do any enhancement afterward, we will. But I kind of want to leave it neutral, you know, kind of faint. The goal is just because I didn't have room, but the goal is for, I think, it to be a nice horizontal kind of one. But maybe we'll see when it's done how it behaves. See, I already like what the black is doing. I might leave the black area alone, but the lunar blue might need a little bit of love. But again, I'm going to let it sit. If I do anything too quickly, I might mess things up. But I don't know, the black dots that I did in the middle, I might want to see. I'm doing it early, like I said I wasn't going to do, but I'm doing anyway because I'm me. I do what I want all the time, and it doesn't always work. All right. So let's sit. That rip in the middle is killing me here. Nope. I didn't really unripple it. Okay. I think, want to swirl some of this together because it's just too uniform. Okay. I think that helped a little bit. Big feelings. All right. All right. Put that there. Clean up all the edges, get all the excess water off so I don't let it all flow right back onto the painting again. All right. Whoops. Sorry, I totally smacked the mic there. The hazard sounded terrible. I'm so sorry. The black's really lightening up. Yeah, right? I think I may try to curve some of this. I have a lot of straight lines in it. But it's okay. It's kind of what it is. Again, let me just try to go crazy. Right there. Yeah, wow. I really like how it spreads out, though. Super cool. Oh, I've got a lot of blue kind of doing it at once over here. All right. Leave it alone. Okay. Leave it alone. I can listen to myself. Let's stop. Gonna let it sit. We're gonna let it dry. We're gonna see where it goes on its own. I'm not gonna keep messing with it. It's not the word I was gonna use, but you know what I mean. And maybe just one more spritz for the road for this uneven area that I didn't like. Hit the whole thing. Walk away. Done. Done. I'm done. I'm not touching it anymore. I'm leaving it alone. Damn it, I want to put some more on it. Fuck. Yeah. That's it. The ground is starting to do while it dries. Oh no. I gotta, I mean, I am using arches. I do want to preserve some of it. All right. All right. I'm stopping. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna let it dry. Just gonna let it do its thing, dry, see what it looks like, and just let it do its own thing and mingle. And I don't want to dry it manually because I think that'll speed up the process before it has a time to truly separate and do its thing. So I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop fucking with it. Stop. Okay. So that's where I'm gonna stop for the day. I'm gonna clean up. I'm gonna put stuff up, get everything put away. Probably tomorrow, or if I'm bored later today, I'll bring this to the diagram table and I will sit here and write in all of the names under all of these, and I will pin it up on my board. And maybe I'll even label over here that these are my granulating paints. And I think this would be really nice as a reference to have in front of me so I can look at how they granulate. It's not as good. Clearly, like you said, spraying it with water made a huge difference. So I may do another one of these where I do the exact same thing, but I spray them and let them do their thing that way. That probably would have been a smart idea when I was doing this. But seeing it raw, just flowing, is also very educational. So I'm very happy to see it like this. I'm used to granulating paints with 2 colors. Really? Wait, I need more information. So, like granulating paints by mixing 2 together yourself to see what the effect is, or ones that are 2 colors already and they like spread out into multiple shades. Curious. I'm gonna put this over here, and I'm gonna keep my round brush up because I'm done messing with it. Bonk. And I'll put my wash brush up. Bonk. Get my pen and this ready. Side for now. I was going to put this up because I don't need it anymore. I said to clean up my hot messes. Like Dana Smith and Schminky, is that how you say it? Granulating paints are that way. Oh, so like the colors naturally kind of separate into multiple shades? That's cool. Well, I think the lunar blue looked like it does that a little bit. It's super hard to see, but it's got like a very dark, like kind of indigo color focus. Yeah, it's almost got kind of a dark indigo kind of shade to it, but it shifts like into a nice pale blue, almost purple in some spots. But I bet there's some that do like a really cool, like red and then releases some amber, like orange colors and whatnot. You can get put like a pink and ultramarine and it will separate. That's wild. Well, now I want to see that. Put like a pink and an ultramarine and it will separate. Like that are both granulating paints and they work that way, or you put a non-granulating with the granulating and see how it separates. I think that would be cool looking. I have a scratch piece of paper. I don't think I need it next to me. It's the paint. Uh, um, I'm down here. Oh my god, it went right down. Nope. It's all over there, of course. I'll get some later. I'll make sure to keep some spare paper near me so I can play. Yeah, I think that'll be cool. Or does it look better like this? Or does it look better like that? Or does it look better like this? Ooh, it looks better like that. Oh yeah, that's way better like that. Oh, no, leave it alone. Oh, but I want to put some there. It's so light right here, and I feel like it should be darker, but I'm not gonna mess with it. It needs to have some light in it to counterpoint all that crap that I'm doing. Um, one staining and one paint that granulates, like black ultramarine, ultramarine or umber. Interesting. Staining, high staining. I got my fancy chart over here I can look at. Phthalo blue and phthalo green are high staining. Pearl red is high staining. Wow, is it only three I have that say that they're high staining? Really? Dang it, I'm gonna try it now. Do I have anything I can do? You know what? Could use some space in between on this and just see really quick. So let's see. So if I do like phthalo green, which is this one up here. Here, I'll do it over here. Okay. And then do the lunar blue that I was just playing with. Like truly mixing it? I don't know. I'm probably fucking that up. Yeah, I overdid it with that. That's what I get for just doing random bullshit. Phthalo I put with umber or black. Being lunar blue is really dark, but yeah, umber or black. Phthalo, huh? That's that one. I have this one down here, phthalo blue. And lunar black. Get half on, half off. And then spray, yeah. Okay. Of course, I put my paper towel away. It's just gonna have to deal. Yeah. We're gonna do this where I won't make a mess. A darn good looking question. Nowhere. So we're just gonna do it here and hope for the best. And now this gets to live over here where it can sit there and dry and think about what it did. And we'll see how that goes as it sits. That one I think I did way too heavy. My God, but phthalo blue is so pretty. It's always gorgeous. It's amazing when you spray water on a non-granulating paint, it just spreads. Doesn't separate, obviously, because it can't. It's just interesting to see it just spread. Yeah, and that one, I don't know what I was doing. I'm gonna let it dry on its own. I don't know how to stop. I don't know how to stop. Okay, I'm walking away. Uh, After I dry a little bit, because this is a huge puddle over here. Are you mixing the palette and then take paper? Ah, so you do a combination and then paint the combination. I see. We can do that. I really needed some more scratch paper. Okay. So if I did winter black, halo blue, and I need to let it dry a little bit first, like you said, and then let it sit. Oh, actually, there's a good bit there. Let me just let it do its thing. So let it spread. I'm just having fun doing random shit. I think that I think I see the beginning of what you're talking about. It truly blends them together, and yet it is a really cool effect with both of them. I'll have to experiment with the whole sheet of paper and just try a bunch of combinations and see what it looks like with all of them. I think that would be really interesting. I need to stop. I am going to let things dry. I am going to go eat and watch some TV or play a game and just chill out and enjoy my weekend. Patty, you mentioned that it snowed today and it's still snowing right now. It's our first snow of the year. It's snowing hard right now. It's crazy. Well, hard-ish. It was going nuts earlier, and it's supposed to snow all night. Crazy. All right, Krista, you have a great rest of your evening. I will see you hopefully back on Monday. I will be here. I will try. It is here too, snowing. Yeah, heck yeah. Enjoy the snow. The only snow of the year for us, anyway. Weirdly, like the first year I think of this year where there was like no snow until like the last minute. All right. Have a great night. I'll see you later. Thanks for hanging out with me. And I will see you next time. All right. Bear out. Bye. I'm heading out of here. I'm going away. Goodbye. I'll see you later. Fare thee well. Hasta la vista. Hasta mañana. Hasta luego. All right.